All right, guys, my mishap, but this is where I am now. And so if you're following along correctly, we should be sort of at this stage. Now things are gonna go a little bit faster, hopefully, than what they have been. Been kind of taking my time on this one. No need, we don't have a 2-hour session or anything like that, like under our belts. So let's do what we can, okay? And let's go with that. What would I want to tackle next is a good question. Let's tackle the foam a little bit. Let's tackle the area that I had painted over and then wiped away. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. I'm gonna start out with the darker colors first. I'm gonna use the flat synthetic. We'll lay into darks a little bit. So we'll go into a little bit of the darker blue, maybe a little bit of that darker green. So you'll end up with it's not gonna be that dark, but it's just gonna be a little bit lighter. And what we're gonna do with this is, let me find this line again that we have here. We even have, what I really want to try to tackle I want to put in some of the darks that are in the foam. And so if you see, like, there is a dark right there, if you want that exact color, you can try to find that exact color. I'm gonna find it there, I'm gonna find it here, and then hit or miss. This is where you let your brush play. This is where Bob Ross would say, just have fun. You still wanna look at the image to know where you are. You can smear some of that, brush strokes, have some quick. I wanna hit or miss some of these areas. So I wanna feel like I'm doing the negative shapes. So if you squint your eyes and you see the dark, that's where you want your dark to kind of be. And you can be expressive with it. It doesn't, like, you can be slightly expressive with it. You can fold or make a line or two or throw up the paint, not throw up literally, but Sancho, at any point, please do not refrain.
Boss, if I see you going off target, I'm gonna jump in.
All right, thank you, Sancho.
Mm-hmm. So are you gonna come back with the same color foam as you have behind it there?
This color?
Mm-hmm.
No, we're gonna come in with the bluer, lighter blue. If you squint your eyes, it's a little more, it feels a little more violet, probably a little bit lighter. I don't even know if I have that color, but we're gonna test the paint out. If I don't have it, I'll grab the phone and show you.
Okay.
Also, we have some of the, let's just say, this foam and this foam, they go together, so you can throw a little bit. You don't want to throw as much in there, but you can tackle some of this with there is that color, like, I feel like in some of the haze, it's lightening up, and some of the tops. So this is when you can start working over the entire painting for sure, and you can always do that. If you see a color and you have it on your brush, you can always lay it down. One of the things, let's come back in. I'm gonna come back in with a medium value. That means this is gonna be my dark. I could go darker if I wish later on, but I wanna try to leave this to 3 or 4 values of the foam. So we'll come in with the darker value of the light foam, and I'm going to use a bristle brush, or I could use the bigger bristle brush. I think I'll use the bigger at this moment. For right now, I'm just going to go into more of the purple that we talked about mixing for the foam.
And you had that fresh brush, which you dipped in the
Yeah, I cleaned it
thinner
off, and then
wipe it
I did dip the brush in one more time and then wipe it off. So it's not wet. I mean, the brush is really loaded with paint.
Mm-hmm.
And that might not be the color. So I would use this as a lighter version of the darker version of the light foam.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever you see that and wherever you want to place it, go ahead and tackle a little bit of that, leaving as much as you want. And you can blur it into your dark. You're not stippled with just trying to tap in the uncovered paint right now. So really I'm just trying to find, I know there's a slightly higher foam ratio right there where it just kind of like wants to lift up and have something really fantastic going on, really cool. There's some that are sort of angled up at the moment. It's a little bit calmer in here, but when I say calm, it's not like our water behind us, it's not as calm as that, but it does lay a little bit flatter as things go on. And what I'm saying right now is none of this has to be perfect. We just need to feel that the water's turbulent, that it's foamed up. Because I really don't like to spend weeks on end doing one painting. I don't think I have the mindset for that. So let's tackle it and get after it.
So your painting doesn't have to exactly match what you're painting off of.
That's right.
Photograph.
So what I'm really trying to do is trying to capture the essence of the photograph. I'm trying to capture the movement. And you're not going to get movement if you're trying to be exact with everything. You have to give yourself a little leeway with all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I might, so just blue and white. I'm trying to find something that's a little bit lighter, but shows that it's actually lighter, and then add a highlight. So I'm trying to do like 4 colors in this little area. But like just blue and white would be great. Where you hit in some of these areas. And notice I'm using a bristle brush, so my paint, you'll be able to see some of the brush strokes more, which will make the paint stand out more, which will give the viewer a chance to think that the texture is coming forward, and so it'll look more like the foam than not. And the farther it goes back, obviously, we could even come back in with a small or just a thinner brush and even hint at some of the lighter areas kind of coming in. Because we want it thin, we want this transition to be right, to maneuver in each other, to transition into each other without definitely a blockade of anything. And you can even do that still, like, I'll load up the brush and you can still even throw in some of these irregularities with the thinner brush if you load it up. One of the things I might do now is I will go into a highlight, which our highlight here is not as strong as this, the light area back here, but I'm gonna push it and I'm gonna go with definitely the same sort of approach that I approach this, and really try to lay it on. If you see my body turn for a while, that's because I've run out of color and I'm trying to mix some comparable.
I'm just focused on your painting, not on you.
All right. So you want to hit some of the tops of these press, and then you can drag, like when you get the paint, enough paint on, you can actually maneuver that paint and you'll be able to drag it and you'll be able to it's just like everything, you actually have to have some sort of enough paint on there to actually make some things move around and to manipulate. You let your brush have a little fun. Just being mindful where it is. You don't want to, it's easy for this to get muddy. And I'm feeling like that with mine. That's why I say that. But I can also come back with my dark again, which was not like the dark, but I can come back in and specify some of these, squint my eyes, find some of these dark areas. And hit them again. I know what you're saying, Sancho. You're saying this just doesn't feel right now, but that's okay because we're going to go back into it. The process isn't over, okay?
It's your painting, Chief. It's amazing how it's starting to look like the original, though.
So the most important thing is to get the dark to light ratio. Squint your eyes, see what's going on. If you squint your eyes, like I can squint and see a lot more like maybe light or even violet things going on right there. That would be a great thing to do. Right now I'm focused in on these darks and I want them to transfer over. And even though it feels like I'm messing them up, even after this, I'll come back in with more highlights. So it's not, I know it feels like a bunch of mess, but this is the fun part. This is where you're actually painting and not drawing. So many times, and God, I felt like it took me years to feel like I was actually painting something because I love drawing so much in my life. And then it really took me a while to actually feel like I was actually painting and not drawing with paint. There's times where you can change your darkness, maybe make it a little more bluer.
Now you're gonna put the same colors in the crest of the wave?
Yeah, so even, I mean, I could be working the wave at the same moment if I wish, but I really want to kind of nail something down first so I know what I'm getting into up here.